Hey everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video, equipment maintenance. Right now I'm taking apart a chainsaw that I got during the summer. See, I bought this saw for 75 bucks. We had a limb fell inside our house. It was oak and it was very large. It was a very large limb. It actually stretched out to the entire length of the house, and it fell. I used one Homelite chainsaw that I have, but it wasn't powerful enough, so I went ahead and bought this one. This is a Homelite Super XL. I'm a big Homelite fan. I'll show you some of the stuff I got right here. Homelite Super XL automatic. It has a automatic oiler and a manual oiler. But I bought the saw used. I think the saw was made in '78, and as you can see, it's just it's covered in just years of dirt and wood chips and grease. Sorry, probably some gasoline as well. This saw has a two-cycle motor. Those two lines right there. Hope you can see that. Those are the manual oiler lines. There's a pump on the handle, which is it's in this box right now with all the parts. I actually had this saw, the same model saw, back in high school. This is one of the first saws I actually built from two broken saws, two broken power heads, and I was able to get a starter cover off of eBay, which I'm actually on eBay right now looking for parts, because I may have to replace the muffler. Some other stuff, just to get this thing up and running. But back in 2006, I believe, 2006, I've actually built this saw. Unfortunately, in 2010, it was stolen. But I'm happy to see that I'm able to get back, kind of finish where I left off. I'm also on eBay. I gotta find new pistons. I gotta find a new piston for the saw. You can't really see it, but I don't know if you can make out right where you see in the exhaust port. You see that kind of like a mark where it's like where you see some bright aluminum. That mark is a scoring mark. That's from dirt getting sucked into the engine during running while it's running, and it scores the piston. I also have, if you can see, one of the mounting bolts for the chainsaw bar actually stripped out, so I may actually fix that with JB Weld. There's some oil dripping out right now. The clutch still appears to be good. Right now, this one has a point system. So there's a condenser right there, and these are the connectors for when the crankshaft turns. It operates a cam, which I believe it activates these contact points that are on the magneto. Right now the magneto is inside that parts bin, but I figured I'd do a video on this to show, just for a simple tool as this chainsaw, it does take quite a bit of maintenance to keep it in a proper running condition. The main prepper did a video a while back on small engine equipment maintenance, and I'm showing something I'm working on. I got the carburetor in there. You see, it's an old one. It has the Homelite logo on the top of the carburetor. Hope you can make. Here you go. See if you can make that out. Yeah, it's an old saw, but I like old equipment. This one. I actually was able to use this to cut up the rest of the limb, but I decided to take it apart and see what needs to be tuned up, what needs to be replaced. I found quite a bit of things. The funny thing, on the first saw I built, I actually was saving up to change out the piston, because the piston on that one was scored too. So I guess in a way, God allowed me to pick up where I left off back in 2010. But this saw works pretty well. Like I said, I'm just getting it tuned up. It had a lot of dirt. A lot of dirt was stuck in the cooling fins. If you have any small engines, you want to make sure you keep them clean, because those cooling fins are to help with keeping the temperature low as the saw gets used. So it's important that when you're done using your equipment, you kind of blow off all the dirt and any wood chips or stuff like that it can accumulate on the cooling system, because you don't want these things to overheat. Once they overheat, that's when you'll see performance suffer and parts start to wear out a lot faster. But yeah, so as always, I'm always talking about, whether it be your truck or a gun, it's always good to maintain your equipment. And sometimes you may have to do a complete takedown of your stuff just to make sure it's working properly. And that's what I'm doing right now. It was actually a bitch getting the flywheel off this. Had to use these two tools. But I didn't damage the flywheel. But in fact, I'm actually thinking about replacing the flywheel because the one I took off was pretty damaged. Let me see if I can show that to you. Here's a flywheel, and if you can see those bright spots on the fins, those are dull spots. Fins are pretty jacked up. They were like that when I actually took them off before I even took them off the saw. And if you see, it actually says burst hazard, do not modify, misuse, or operate if damaged, because with flywheels they move at such a high RPM that if they're not in the right condition, they can actually explode. A chunk can fly off and shoot right through the cover of the saw. Yeah, it's a bit rough. I had to let it sit with some lubricant on it for a while, but that's just something I'm working on. I've worked on a lot of chainsaws back in high school, back during my high school career, and trying to get back in the swing of doing that kind of stuff right now. Just another skill I want to sharpen up on. I may encounter some more small engines as time goes by. Should I ever get a generator or any other power equipment that runs off gasoline, or maybe even propane, I hope to be able to know how to maintain my equipment so that it works when I need it the most. I'm hoping I can get this thing done. Should time and money provide, I can accomplish that. During the early stages of fall. Before I really have to worry about doing any major outside work. But hopefully I have a video set up for the end result to show you all the things I've done with it. Right now, my floor just has some junk on it, but that's life of a grease monkey, I suppose. But please, get any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section, or make a video response talking about whether you're doing the same thing with your equipment. Any gripes, complaints, please send them in my inbox. Just please be mindful of the people who are watching this video. But that's my video, equipment maintenance. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.